Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are of course the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, cause we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. To Felicity Banquet Hall, where unforgettable memories are made. Whether you're planning a wedding, birthday party, corporate meeting, or any special gathering. Why choose us? We are spacious, elegant, and fully air-conditioned hall. Customizable seating for up to 200 guests. Beautiful decor and lighting options. On-site kitchen and catering services. We are available 7 days a week. Located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. Call the number on the screen today and book now.
Okay, my friends, pleasant good Wednesday afternoon to the citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are locked on, those of you who have been anticipating our program, Hardfacts, that is aired on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. I want to welcome you all to our program today and let you all know that we have really and truly a full stock house when it comes to information that I would like to share to you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. When it comes to politics, when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to our daily routine, when it comes to taxation, when it comes to, my friends, when it comes to really and truly the root core of our problems in our country. My friends, I want to welcome you to my program today. And this program is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. As you can see, my friends, those of you who are locked on, those of you who are outside, the inclemency of the weather, there's a lot of rain. There's a lot of rain in different parts of the country. My information is that please be very careful when you are driving on the highways. I tell you all something I always, try to really and truly identify. Some of you might be thinking that, you have a very heavy vehicle. But I want to let you all know when you're driving at 60 or 65 miles per hour, that vehicle on the roadway, really and truly, it is like, like a missile. So those of you who are really and truly driving on the highways and the byways in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, please be mindful, be careful how you are driving, take your time. Maybe a half an hour late is better than not being there at all. All right, so again, my friends, I want to thank you all for really and truly calling, because many of you have been calling me. Monday, we didn't have any show. Saturday, we didn't have any show. And that was basically because of the internet service that we were experiencing. Very challenging, low Wi-Fi. Right? And my friends, again, I've been telling you all this, and I'm calling on Minister, the Honorable Barry Padarat. Please try to do something when it comes to Wi-Fi. We are paying in the proximity of 400 per month. And many of the time, we are not getting what we are paying for. And I would like to request that the Honorable Barry Padarat, Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities, really and truly investigate what is happening, because a lot of things have been changing. We are seeing this government have been initiating real change, real change. And I always tell you this in my program, Hardfacts. We talk about issues. If you are not doing the right thing, we are going to tell you that you are not doing the right thing. But if you are doing the right thing, we're going to support you. We're going to come out in our large numbers, and we're going to identify to the public that what the country is really and truly challenged with, and also what the government of the day is trying to rectify and to correct the anomalies that was perpetrated by the past regime. My friends, I want to welcome you. So those of you who are locked on, feel free to call me. The number is 372-2129. That's the number you can reach me. I'm not seeing it on the tape. But again, 372-2129. That is the number that you can call me at, 372-2129. Call me and let us really and truly identify whatever situation that is plaguing you, the citizens of this country. Whether you went to a public facility, whether you went to a private facility, whether you went to a supermarket, whether you went to a restaurant, and really and truly, this program is not to malign the character of any individual. We are not here to really and truly cause any mayhem or any harm to any citizens or any business enterprises. But again, my friends, if something has to be aired, you are free to call me at 372-2129. We are seeing lots and lots and lots of challenges taking place when it comes to Facebook Marketplace. And I want you all to just keep that in your mind, Facebook Marketplace. A lot of things, people go across there. It is a busy site. Really and truly, it is a busy site. And a lot of people really and truly, they go across there to really and truly find out where they can get good deals. Whether it be buying a motor vehicle, whether it be buying a phone, whether it be in any transaction, you're going to realize that a lot of people are advertising in that page. Right? So I want to let you all know, just keep that in the back of your mind, because many times, you cannot blame Facebook Marketplace. I want to let you all know. A lot of people are saying that Facebook Marketplace. No. You can't blame Facebook Marketplace for your weakness, for your anomalies, for your stupidity. Right? You can't do that. If you are seeing something, let me just give you a practical example, and then we're going to shift the podium a bit, and then we're going to come back. If you are an individual, right, you are mindful of a product, you want to buy a car, and you know that that type of vehicle that you are buying costs maybe about 40,000, and you are seeing that very said car costing 25,000. You are seeing that car without a number plate. Now, that is a norm. People do not advertise their number plate on a vehicle simply because people could use that number plate, go by some auto shop, make a number plate, and maybe use that to commit crimes and so forth. So you're not seeing the number plate, but you are seeing a really and truly good vehicle. And you are seeing that vehicle, you look at the condition of that vehicle, you look at the interior of that vehicle, look at the engine, you're not seeing the number plate. And you are seeing that very said vehicle that really and truly would cost about 60,000, 75,000. You are seeing it for 35,000 and 40,000. You are inclined to purchase. You want to buy that vehicle because you know what? That vehicle is a really good vehicle. It meets my standard. It meets my budget. And you know what? You follow that ad, and maybe you have to go Carnage. Maybe you have to go Labre, maybe you have to go Grandi, maybe you have to go Enterprise, maybe you have to go Shogunas. You follow that ad, and then you go across there and you communicate with the people, knowing for a fact that the people is genuine, they talk to you nice. You're not seeing the photos of these people because it would certainly be fake profiles, and you are seeing that. And you are going there with your hard-earned money, $20,000, $25,000, and majority of the time when you go across there and you feel that you're going to purchase a vehicle, people are really and truly going to rob you of your money. And that is what is happening. So you cannot blame Facebook Marketplace. You have to blame yourself, because every single week on social media, last week alone, Trinidad and Tobago, 2 or 3 people got conned simply because they paid 5,000, 3,000, 2,000 here. And the hard part about it, these people not getting their product, but yet still they wiring money to the account of these other persons. I mean, what nonsense is that? Are you all not intelligent enough to know that these things is not adding up? It is not adding up, and you constantly. And that's the reason why when you look at the comments, when you advertise now, you are a victim. and you put that on Facebook as a victim, that like for example, one person, he's missing up till now. He went to purchase a vehicle. Director, you have that? You have that clip? The guy went to purchase a vehicle day before yesterday, I believe, and he has not returned home. Now, if that person went there as a cash transaction, maybe $10 or $15 or $25,000 in cash, that individual could be robbed, that individual could be murdered. We don't know. We're just speculating, but you look at the outcome of the past, and you are going to see, my friends, what I am speaking about. So Trinidad and Tobago, let's become wise people. Let us not be fooled all the time. You always see this happening. You always, you'll be seeing it on different TV shows. The host will be telling you all, stop being gullible, stop being like that, stop running after deals that is not there. You are going after mirage. You are going after water on the highway. Stop doing that. It pains me to know that a wife and her kids is waiting at home, anticipating that her husband is going to return. And chances are, you know what is going to happen? The outcome is always negative. We have been seeing that in the past. So Trinidad and Tobago, my friends, my loving friends, my people of Trinidad and Tobago, let us be real. Let us understand that if you want something, go buy a genuine place to buy it. Don't go hook, line, and sinker. Walk with your hard-earned cash. Look at this young man. This young man is a hard-working young man. Right? He went to purchase a vehicle. No, his vehicle, you know, everybody's saying upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. People will tell you upgrade your vehicle. You have a good vehicle, but because of the trend, because of the time, people will say upgrade, upgrade, and you will get that push, and you say, okay, I am doing a little better. You know, I'm going to upgrade my vehicle. I'm going to sell what I have and buy something a little better. And that is what is happening, and people are notorious. Come back to me, director. People are notorious outside there. They look at the con, and they know monkey know exactly which branch to climb. Monkey know exactly which branch to climb. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, and I want you all to be on the alert. Be on the alert. This is Hard Facts. This is a program that is designed. This is not a money-making program. This program is to identify the challenges that is plaguing our society. I want to say hats off. I want to say hats off to the Prime Minister of our country, the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bisesa. I want to say hats off because basically anybody have any grouse against her now really and truly is genuine haters. Is genuine haters. They don't want this country. These are selfish people who really and truly are genuine haters, not to the country alone, but to themselves. Because thus far, my friends, what we have been seeing done by this United National Congress government is all in the positive. But yet still, and you know something? I want to tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. You have seen this. The word jari. You all know what is the meaning of jari? I will leave that for my friend Premchand Baldev. I'll leave that for Premchand Baldev. Premchand, call the station and let us know what is the meaning. I don't want to quote something different. I know what is the meaning of jari, but I want somebody who is distinguished, like my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldev, to tell me exactly what is the meaning of jari. Because I tell you something, PNM, they are hosting a forum, they are hosting a meeting, and that meeting is called a jari, right? A jari. Now, I tell you something, jari is distinctively in association with when somebody, right, maybe having evil omen, or having some sort of problems when it comes to with the devil, right? They will go by the spiritual healers, and they will go by people of reputable character, whether it be an imam, a priest, or whoever, and say, well, you know what, I want you to say a prayer for me, and that is classified as a jari, right? Now the PNM is saying that they want a jari. Why they didn't jari? Why they didn't jari in the past 10 years? Why they didn't jari in the past 10 years when people were suffering? When people were suffering in our country, why they didn't take a jari? Use the same broom to jari. So my friends, those of you who are locked on, we have a caller on the line. Caller, you can just call us back. We're having a little difficulty there. Right, so we have the caller on the line. Come on, caller. Let me hear the caller. Caller?
Yeah, Imam, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Yes. I'm listening to your program. It's very, very educational today, and very upbeat, so to speak. If I may add, the meaning of the word jari, is when someone is suffering from some measure of bad luck or sickness or that sort of thing.
Right.
The person who is endowed with such spiritual powers would use certain mantras or incantations over that individual, sometimes with other medicines also like oil and whatnot, to remove that bad luck, to remove that illness or bad eye or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Prem,
Uh-huh.
you're hearing, so when the PNM use a term like that, is it that they are pointing to a certain religious persuasion when it comes to the political party, United National Congress?
Yeah. Correct. That's it. Yes.
You find the directive is basically on that trend, that they are identifying that they are going after a certain religious persuasion when it comes to the United National Congress. Jari.
That's it. I totally agree with you, Imam. I agree with you, yes.
All right, so thank you very much. So Prem, when your course finish, I know you're doing your course there. When your course finish, you can let me know what's going on so that maybe we could put things in place that you will be back in studio with me, right?
Yes, Imam. That is like in about 2 weeks' time, I believe.
Right, okay. Thank you very much, Prem. So again, if you are in the area of Monroe, Charleville, and different parts of the country, and maybe you are facing any challenges with water, with road, with infrastructure, with crime, whatever, you have a voice. Trinidad and Tobago, you have a voice. Because a lot of people, and even so much so, the government ministers, they are in line with this program. They are seeing this program. They know what is going on. We are identified. We have said this in the past. Myself and my co-host, we have said this in the past. If anybody, whether it be PNM, whether it be UNC, whether it be whichever political party, they are doing the right thing, we are going to commend them, we are going to highlight it, and we are going to work with them. Now, I am seeing a lot of anomalies, right? Now, PNM was in power for the past 10 years. Isn't that so? They were in power from 2015 to 2025. And I tell you something, it is like as though now they're getting big. It is as though they're now getting the appetite to speak and they can see the fault. That is the reason why in our program, Hardfacts, I have been saying this. A lot of you all can see the toothpick in a man's eye, in another person's eye, but you cannot see the log in your own eye. The log is a big log. You can't see it in your own eye, but you are seeing a toothpick in the next man's eye. That's a prime example of the PNM. They could see everything that is wrong now, but when they were in government, they could not see anything that the other fraction, the United National Congress, or any affiliate was really and truly identifying to those individuals. So again, my friends, feel free to call me 372-2129. Let's take a first break and we're going to come back.
Welcome to Island Express Hardware, where we work with your budget. We supply all paints, all brands, and all sizes. And we are of course the cheapest in Trinidad. We also supply pumps and water tanks, and we also have them in combo deals. Visit us for the best friendly customer service. Need steel, beams, and purlins? We got that. We have top quality lats and boxing board, plyboards, gypsum boards, you name it. Do you love to fish? Have no fear, cause we have all the gears. Visit Island Express Hardware today, located at Rashid Avenue, Kakani Road, Felicity Shogunas.
Okay, so my friends, welcome back to our program Hardfacts that is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12:15. Those of you who would like to contribute to our program here today, not monetary, but contribute by giving us information and interacting with our program, you can call me at 372-2129. That's our WhatsApp number. You can call me live in studio and let us really and truly discuss what is taking place. Now I want to tell you all what is fascinating, and really and truly it needs a lot of clarification, because just recently, I know for a fact that marijuana was legalized. Marijuana was legalized, and people can purchase from certain outlets, registered, legitimate outlets. They can be able to purchase marijuana, whether it be medical marijuana or whether it be for maybe different purposes, right? That is something that has to be clarified by the government of the day. But what I would like to welcome, is whereby the age limit for purchasing alcohol and intoxicant has reached that 21-year-old marker. Kamala Prasad, the Honorable Prime Minister of the country, raises drinking limit to 21. No gambling, smoking, ganja under 25. Now that's a serious blow that a lot of people is going to be really and truly pissed. And I use the word pissed with. But I tell you something, I welcome that 100%. I will support that 100%, because I tell you something, my friends, a lot of people don't know this. But things like alcohol, things like marijuana, those items really and truly that intoxicate and baffle the mind, really and truly is a major culprit when it comes to disasters, when it comes to accidents in highways and byways and so forth. Again, Trinidad and Tobago, I saw this on Facebook, where the Tobago hospital is filled to capacity. Well, hear what? Tobago hospital is filled to capacity now. But I want to let Tobagonians know this. Trinidad and Tobago hospital has been filled to capacity for the longest while. Tobago hospital is in emergency mode after reaching bed capacity. Okay, we acknowledge that. Come back, director. But I just want to let you all know, if you take a drive in Port of Spain Hospital, you take a drive in Mount Hope Hospital, you take a drive in San Fernando, you take a drive in Grandi Hospital, you are going to find people on cots, you are going to find people on stretchers, you are going to find people lying on the floor in some cases. So you know something, I would advise Tobagonians at this point in time, you all have to wait and understand what is happening, because I tell you something, Tobago was really and truly aligned majorly when it comes to the PNM. And the PNM really never take them on seriously until now. And I tell you something, knowing Kamala Prasad, knowing her government, I am telling you this, that in a short space of time, something is going to be done distinctively when it comes to medical in this country. Medical services, whether it be extra beds, whether it be new hospitals, whether it be opening of the Cuba Hospital as a general hospital or as a children's hospital. And I want to let you all know, Trinidad and Tobago, if those wards, that is children ward, that is in Port of Spain, that is in San Fernando, that is in other hospitals, if those wards were made vacant and the Cuba Children's Hospital were really and truly up to par in the sense that, you know, admittance from all the other hospitals, you know something, room is going to be made for the general population when it comes to health service in our country. So that is a welcome, that's a welcome. The government of the day, I'm sure that they are looking into that. Let's go to crime, Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago, there are lots and lots of crime. You see, the motor toll to our country is 210, approximate 210 persons have lost their lives. Soldier amongst 3 held with firearms. Now, that's something that we have to really and truly deal with. A soldier, what is it that you're doing with firearm? What is it that you are dealing with firearm, maybe to be held by police? Right? That's something that has to be investigated. Police charge Mayaro man with the murder of Candice. Right? That is another important ongoing topic. Body found on Scarborough coastline. That's a drowning. Maybe it could have been accidental. We don't know. It could be a murder. We don't know. So again, continue, director. Traffic warden injured in airport drive-by, drive-off. Traffic warden injured in airport drive-off. Now tell us something. Something has to be done. Something has to be done, right? Let me tell you something. When it comes to parking, in the hospital, some other system has to be really and truly revisited. Like for example, a color code system should be in place, whereby you give a person 15 minutes. You give a person 15 minutes. Like they enter the area, the arrival area, or they enter the departure area, right? They enter there. When they pass it, maybe you can have a barricade, and they will go across there, and the warden or the traffic warden, whoever, will give them a color code pass, but a sticker, maybe a small sticker, and you have 10 or 15 minutes to wait there. And if not, you know what? A ticket should be issued. Something has to be revisited when it comes to that, because I tell you something, there are many persons who are very delinquent. They will go across there once there is nobody watching them, there's nobody looking at them, they will remain there for a long period of time. Once they see somebody come in, they might drive around and come back in the very set spot and wait, just avoiding paying for an hour parking. That's it, an hour parking. Because basically it will take a person to clear customs in the airport, Trinidad and Tobago, maximum maybe 1 hour. Maybe 1 hour, unless they may have illegal things and that maybe warrant a longer search or a longer investigation. So these are things that we could look into. The government of the day could look into that. Director, come back again. Okay, 3,000 pounds of tomatoes stolen from farmers during ministerial visit. Now that's an easy thing to investigate. That's an easy thing to investigate. Right? 3,000 pounds of tomatoes is plenty tomatoes. And nobody is going to split up the tomatoes by crate and send 5 in San Fernando, 5 in Grande, 5 in Chaguanas, 5 here, 5 there, 5 the next. That has to be purchased by somebody who is doing wholesale. That could be narrowed down, that could be investigated, and investigation could be done and find out, you know, I'm sure the owner of that losses, the tomato that was stolen, I'm sure that he would know the type of tomatoes, and between me and you, I tell you something, some farmers would know their product, whether it's £1 million of tomatoes that was stolen or how much was stolen. Because I tell you something, I remember this. One person went and he stole avocado, right? He stole avocado. And my friends, this individual went and sold it to a market shed. And lo and behold, in the space of about half-day time, investigation was done and the avocado was found. And how it was found? Because the farmer could identify. I'm sure that that farmer could know exactly what type of tomato, the kind of quality of tomato that he's producing, because 3,000 pounds is plenty. And for a man to steal 3,000 pounds of tomatoes, he can't just go and say, beam me Scotty in the farm, in the garden, and all the tomatoes would be on that van or that truck. No. That takes time to reap, to pull out, to pick, whatever you want to call it. And that has to go places. And the farmer could identify the different areas where a truck, that has to go in a truck. That has to go in 3 tons or maybe H100s like that. And it could be easily identified via investigation. Proper investigation has to be done by the police. The police have to investigate that. Because 3,000 pounds of tomatoes is not a little loss. It's not an easy thing to lose by a farmer. So again, my friend Trinidad and Tobago, we are talking about this country, what is happening in our country. The Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa has mentioned putting into pepper spray. Pepper spray is something that a lot of women who are traveling, who uses the public transportation system, especially those PH drivers, you get good ones, I'm sure. You know, people who are traveling and using the PH drivers, they know exactly who they are traveling with. They would be accustomed to, and I mean those people who would like to get the pepper spray, genuine pepper spray, make the application. There are going to be some forms, there's going to be some format, and go for your pepper spray and keep it in your bag. But then you know what is going to happen after a period of time? A domestic violence or domestic action taking place home, right? There wouldn't be no cutlash anymore. There would not be any tree canal anymore. People will be running for the pepper spray and spray it in the eyes of their spouses and so forth. So you have to brace up for that. Every single thing that, you know, there's always a positive and negative, right? Let me just give you an example. A conversation between an axe and a tree, right? The tree was telling the axe, why you cutting me down for? You know, what I did. And you know what the tree responded and said? If it was the axe responded to the tree and said, if it wasn't for the handle, which is made out of wood, which is made out of the tree like yourself, I would not be able to cut that. So basically the point I'm raising here is that people, when you run after the pepper spray, right? Chances are, maybe you have to consult, if you are a married person, you have to consult with your husband, wife, because if you are seeking to get a legitimate, lawful firearm in this country, there's a certain protocol that you have to follow. Fill out the form, go for your medical and so forth, and your spouses, if it's a wife or a husband, they have to sign that documentation for you. Now, if by chance that weapon is used against, or whatever harm is caused by that, whether it be to the spouses, remember you signed that form for that. So you have to know legitimately if my husband or my wife really and truly is mentally fit and mentally capable to really and truly conduct themselves properly when it comes to handling of firearm. A lot of people saying this. You know, they say the government is giving FUL, they're giving firearms users license, rapido, you know, you could get that fast. Everybody, you know, forms, people like this filling out and sending. I believe once it is legitimate and you have the grounds for it, you are a businessman, maybe you are a family person, you have children going here, you have to drop, you have to pick up, whatever. I don't know. I don't know the legitimacy of it. But again, my friends, you have to be mindful. Holding a firearms user's license is good. Having a firearm is a very, very challenging, difficult situation. You could be arrested. You could, if you don't understand the protocol and the laws of handling a weapon, these things could be against you and not for the betterment or the safety of yourself or your children. So those of you who are live on Facebook, those of you who are live on YouTube, you are free to call me, 372-2129. If you would like to have any clarification or you would like to maybe put in your 2 cents, you would like to say something, maybe you can call me. Let us know what is taking place in your neck of the woods. So a lot of things is happening. I am very, very much pleased with the movements of the government because I saw this, the WASA board, right? The WASA board, the implementation of a new WASA board could save the government of the day $39 million. Director, pull up that for me, please. So this is something that WASA says new executive structure saving the utility $39 million. Now that is something, I mean, if a new executive structure could save that kind of money, then I tell you something, we could do that in all the boards. And all the boards, maybe that kind of money could pay salaries for the board to run. So a lot of things could be happening in the government daily routine at this point. So I want to say hats off to the United National Congress government. All ministers, they are on the ground, they are working. Thank you all very much. Continue working. And let us, you know, identify some. I tell you something before I take the second break. You know what is going to happen? This is just under the 3 months marker, right? This is under the 3 months marker. So basically, you know, the communication, I see in some changes because the Monday night forum really and truly is not so important. But again, the government want to use the Monday night forum, right? The Monday night program to really and truly communicate with the structure of the party, with what have been the constituencies in the different areas, which is 100% good. Because a lot of people would say, hey, when the government come into power, we don't hear them, we don't see them. Again, they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Hats off to the United National Congress at this point in time. Hats off to many of those. I'm not seeing some of the ministers. I've been asking clearly. Now, tell us something. Roger Alexander, right? And basically, when you look at him and you look at his countenance and so forth, you're going to realize that maybe he might not. I always say this, right? You don't have to be educated to go in parliament. You don't have to have a degree to go in parliament. Once you could have common sense, once you could have the know-it-all, once you could have the will and the passion to serve, you should be given that opportunity. And I want to say hats off to the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisasa for selecting him, because basically, maybe he's just keeping a low profile. I want to just say this to Roger Alexander. Continue, my friend. Continue doing what you are doing, and I'm sure that you're going to reach places. What we are asking for is that the citizens of this country, they would like to know things like this. You know, when you purchase a pizza, right? They will tell you at some period of time, they tell you if half an hour passes, your pizza is free. So what happens is that basically the person who is maneuvering, who is delivering your pizza, have to go there and reach on time, which is constructive thinking. I would like to see something like that being implemented by the TTPS of Trinidad and Tobago. If people going across there to the police station to make a report, right, and maybe 45 minutes or maybe whatever, under an hour. Let me just say under an hour, because maybe it have other people there before you. And put things in place like that. If a person has not been served within that hour framework, maybe they could say, well, they could stand up, or they could identify and say, look, I've been waiting here for an hour or an hour and a half, so that the persons who are in charge could really and truly maybe assist as fast as possible. That is one way we can handle things. Secondly, my friends, those of you who are locked on, and you can identify, because I tell you something, right? Let me give you an example. You all know about 15 years back, that is when I was dealing with poultry, right? I was the president of Trinidad and Tobago Pluck Shop Association. And we were having a problem with the litter, with the feathers, and with the entrails, and so forth. People were dumping that in all back roads and side roads and front road. Anywhere you turn and twist, you would have been smelling that poultry litter, right? I came up with an idea. Rashid Karim, came up with that idea. Why it is that the borough don't purchase the garbage, right? And it was in a manner like that, that the garbage truck would come on evenings to every pluck shop where we identify via registration number, and they will come and pick up that garbage, and the pluck shop would just pay maybe $1 or $2 a bag, but the money, our value was not important. What was important was the health situation when it comes to unregistered dumping and so forth, right? And that worked for many years. Up to now, it is working. So we need all hands on deck. What the government should do, implement strategies and programs, asking people to give their opinion, and if their opinions are selected and maybe utilized or used, they could be able to benefit from some remuneration or some sort of gifts or something like that. So you see, you need all hands on deck. People are not going to come on board just so, knowing for a fact that many times you see a lot of people who are activists, right? They were activists in the parties, whether it be PNM, whether it be other parties. Like, for example, I know something, I must touch on that as I'm speaking here. You know, where all those other parties gone? They're only wasting time. Where is all those parties going? Are they going in hibernation for another 5 years? And in the last shows, right, in 2029, August or June, July there, they want to form a party and come to contest an election? Are we going to swallow that again? Where is that all those parties? Why is that they cannot come out now and know for a fact that, well, the government of the day is doing something good? Right? Come out and support something that is good. And if you know or you see that the government is doing something that is not good or not beneficial to the general populace, come out and talk. You don't have to wait on Penelope Beckles. You don't have to wait on Faris Alwari. You don't have to wait on Stuart Young. You don't have to wait on these fellas and these people. You don't have to wait. You understand? Opposition really and truly is to save our country, to ensure that our country is functioning correctly. And you have a government now, and the government is working. They are trying their best, because I saw this, pensioners, right? You know what was a major problem? What was a major problem before the election would have been the property tax. And what would have been a major problem again would have been the people who have a little business, they have a little shop. Now, you know something? Trinidad and Tobago, the legislators in our country, let's be real. Let's be real. A man have a business, right? And maybe he have been paying taxes and he have been paying all his duties and giving up all his whatever taxes that he's supposed to be paying. Now he's entitled to a pension. He's entitled to a pension unless he doesn't want a pension. But who is you? Who is you to say, well, that man have a business? So when you reach 60 years old, right? Better you just resign. That's what they're telling you. Or 65 years, you resign. Now the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bisasa is stating this, that your pension is not going to be taxed. Pensioners is not going to be taxed and so forth, which is on the right track. Bringing back the people into the correct pathway when it comes to humane decisions. And that is being made by the government of the day. So again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, and those of you having your lunch break at this point in time, I know for a fact that many of you, when rain falling, you all like to eat fried chicken and chips. So the snow cone man might be a little worried. The ice cream people might be a little worried, but the KFCs and the Royal Castles and those people, the fried chicken outlets, they are happy because I tell you something, somehow or the other, the belly or the stomach normally scratches when the weather is like this, rainy. People want to eat something nice and they want to go back home and maybe watch television. So again, Trinidad and Tobago, we can't be vexed with that. That's a normal human reaction that takes place when the weather is rainy and weather is cool and so forth. So I want to say, those of you who are enjoying your KFCs, your Royal Castles, those of you who are enjoying your hot meals, enjoy your meals while you look at our program. Call me at 372-2129. Let us discuss the country. Because a lot of things, number one, what people want to know about is FUL. Businessmen who applied 20, 15, 17 years, they want to know what is his status now. Now, this is unfair. Trinidad and Tobago, Minister of Homeland Security, Commissioner of Police, whoever you may be when it comes to that aspect, people who have already filled out their forms, went through the mill, went through the process, right? They went through already, and they have once they have the documents, and they prove that we have the legitimate documents, that is a requirement for getting an FUL, they should be expedited. They should get their FUL. You can't go and tell them now they have to reapply. That is unfair. And a lot of people thinking in their own minds that they have to reapply with new applications. That is unfair. Once they have copies of their documents, valid copies of their documents, and that was already sent in, and because of what? Because of discrimination in some cases, because of maybe decision making when it comes to signing off and what have you and what have you not. I tell you something, once people have valid documentation, prove that they have made application for firearm FUL license, they should be given the priority. And if you think that is so, then call me 372-2129. Let's campaign for it and let's support that. Because I tell you something, a lot of people outside there are worried that the applications, and I tell you, I have been telling you this, when people were calling and asking, what about the application for firearms users license, I said, I made the speculation here, I could have been wrong, where I said that many of those forms have been thrown in dustbins and put in cardboard box and seal and throw in a corner. So let them find it now. If you have it, if you have a document, and it was there for 10, 15 years, and you are bona fide, you are legitimately required, or you are supposed to be granted a firearm user's license, and they have not done that, take them to court. Take them to court. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to close our program here. My friends, this is your program, Hard Facts. I'm your host, Imam Rashid Karim, where we identify a lot of things that takes place in our country. But right now, I'm telling you something, the country is breathing a sigh of relief, and I tell you something, it is all because of the United National Congress being in government and thinking about the citizens of our country. Let's take a break. Okay, my friends, welcome back to our program Hardfacts that is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Karim, and I'm here week after week, 3 times per week, identifying the anomalies, the challenges, highlighting the issues that is taking place in our country. I tell you something, a lot of people watching the international scenario, they are looking at what's taking place with the war, what is taking place in other country with Palestine and Israel and America. They are looking on, a lot of people are looking on, and they are wondering. Like for example, I saw this recently where a woman who had spent 25 years in the US of A, in America, and I believe in the documentation, in the written form there, she had 5 kids during that period of time. And she have been gathered by the ICE and have been deported to her country. Now I tell you something, maybe that is the law of America, but what I would like to say is that when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago, and a citizen has to apply for a US visa, right? And these people have to fork out 3,000 TT dollars. 3,000 TT dollars, not knowing. Come back, identify that, director. New USA visa fee could cost TT 3,000 or more, right? They say more, but it could be or more. US visa fee could reach that $3,000 marker, right? Come back. Now, just take for instance, a person who wants to go, because I tell you something, everybody who traveling, unless they have somebody waiting for them across there, where they could get some housing and maybe could get some free meals and so forth, basically that would have been a steal of a deal for them. But when you have to go in a hotel, you have to rent a vehicle, you have to pay for your food and what have you not, knowing now that you are paying $3,000 to acquire an American visa, and you apply and they turn you down, that is $3,000 that you are going to lose. You are going to lose that, right? And I think that is something that is unfair, knowing for a fact that the government of the day, that's American government, they don't need that money. I think that if they, I'm just saying this, and 3722129, I am not whole of Trinidad and Tobago. There's many people outside there who is citizens of this country, and I think it is unfair. I think it's unfair that a person goes and make an application, he doesn't get his visa, and yet still they take the money. All right, if you want to be real and you want to be honest, say this. All right, if you don't get your visa, we're going to take $1,000 for the processing fee, and we're going to give you back your $2,000. All that is good. But when a person, he goes there, and hear me good, he goes there with a family of 4. Right? Wife, husband, and 2 kids. That is $12,000 approximate he has to pay. And they have been denied their visa. What is going to happen? So that is something that the government of Trinidad and Tobago, they need to liaise on behalf of the citizenry of our country and identify that aspect of it. Should we be rebated our monies when we go for application is made for an American visa and the visa is not granted, right? Can the people apply back or receive back portion of that $3,000? Because $3,000 is plenty money. And you have a family of 4, that's $12,000 that you're paying. In some cases, that's going to be 4 months' groceries for that very said family. So something has to be done. And I'm calling on the government, Minister of External Affairs, Minister in the Ministry of External Affairs, that is in your purview. And I believe you're supposed to be thinking like that on behalf of the citizens of this country. Sometimes you have to really and truly, for you to really and truly be respected, right, you have to work for your respect. And you have seen this, that the Honorable Kamal Prasad Bisesa, many people thought that she's not going to win the election. Right? We were questioning that. We were questioning that on this very said program. Where is it that she's going to get the other voters? Knowing for a fact that the election that we have seen in the past would have been tribalistic. And lo and behold, she did something that was tremendous. And she won the hearts of the people. Right? So those of you who are locked on, feel free to call me. We just have about 5 minutes again in our show. And maybe you can jump in, maybe you can say Maybe you can tell me what really and truly you think about the issues that we discuss here. 200 approximate person died in our country. And that is people not including those who are missing. Because in our country at this point in time, there's approximately 20 to 25 persons that has gone missing, and there's no whereabouts of those persons. Right? We are only seeing it, maybe it may make Facebook today, it make TikTok today, and 1 week from now, the person has not returned home, right? And that person is still missing. Director, we have a call on the line? All right, so those of you who are locked on, this is your program, Hardfacts. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim. And again, for you all, really and truly, if you would like to participate in our program, you would like to come on board, you would like to come and see our program, you would like to visit us in studio, maybe you would like to discuss something that is most relevant, most important. But again, feel free to call me, and we can be able to make some arrangement for you to join me in studio Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, lunchtime. And don't ask me to change the program time, because this time is a very, very good time. We have a lot of people who watch our program, a lot of people who watch our program on TikTok, a lot of persons who watch our program on Facebook, and a lot of persons who watch our program on different media houses, right? So thank you all very much, because we send this program in about 40 groups. And a lot of people, if we have maybe 20 in one group watching, right, we're talking about 800 people watching this show during this period, this timing. So again, my friends, thank you all very much. I'm your host, Imam Rashid Karim. Thanking you all for joining me. Thanking you all for supporting our program. And as I said before, this is your program. This is a voice for the voiceless. So those of you who are really and truly interested in aiding and supporting the government of the day with their grand initiative, hats off again. Alcohol, 21 years, gambling, 21 years and over, very, very well. Pepper spray is on the pipeline. FUL is on the pipeline. The cutting in certain contractors and so forth. Those things are relevant. Those things are information that we shared, and those things are most important for the smooth running of our country. I thank you, and may God Almighty bless our country, Trinidad and Tobago.